to Here's What's Cooking. And today we're going to talk about, are you afraid of your Instapot? Get to know your Instapot. So if it's been sitting in the box since you've gotten it, it's time to take that baby out and let's get cooking. So I'm going to use my 3-quart as a demonstration because it's easier to pick up. Now, this is going to be what you refer to as a sealing ring. This is very, very important. And the reason why this is important is because this is needed to set pressure. And so it's easy to insert and take out, and you need to wash it. Make sure that you wash it when you take it out. But let's take a look at the functions of the lid and what's so important about your lid. This right here is your sealing and venting, and it can come off. And it's very important to make sure that when you're going to use your Instapot that this is on there, because if not, when it's trying to pressurize and you didn't check it out before, it'll start spewing and making crazy noise, and you'll get frustrated and blah 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 blah. So ask me how I know. So you always want to make sure that that lid is on there. This is very vital to the function of the machine. It won't work, it won't seal without this thing. And when you're beginning to cook, you want to make sure that it's on sealing and not venting. The little black thing on here. This little thing in here, this right here, is going to be your pressurized button. When it is pressurized, this little button, you see how you can't really see it, it's kind of flush, but when it has sealed with pressure, it's going to rise like that. So anytime that button is up like that, that's an indicator to you that the machine is pressurized, okay? And if you're going to want to open it, then you're going to have to turn this to vent and then let the steam come out, and as the steam comes out, it'll slowly, and then when it's down like that, it's safe to open. So pay attention to this button. If this button is up and it's hard to open, don't force it open. Just turn it to venting and let it vent, and then when that pressure goes down, then it's safe to open, and it doesn't take but just a few minutes. So just pay attention to that right there, because that is important, and that's what it'll look like when it's pressurized. Okay, so this right here is just the inside, and you kind of want to make sure that, you know, when you're done, that you kind of clean these out, because these, you know, you don't want any debris or getting anything in them, because then they can malfunction. But this is where your sealing ring is going to go, and you're going to put your sealing ring in like this, and I don't know if y'all can see me do it, but you're just going to put it in. Make sure that it's all the way in there and that it's not halfway, because it will not vent. I mean, it will not seal if your sealing ring is not on here. All right, so now that's it about the lid. Okay, this is called your inner pot, and it's going to have a maximum to where you can fill with liquid, where you can fill it. If you fill it above that maximum, it's not going to work properly. So you want to make sure that you stay right at or just below. I usually try to stay below the maximum size. And this is very important. Anytime you are going to cook, do not use this pot for anything but to hold this pot. Because if you pour food or water in this, chances are you've ruined your Instapot and you'll have to just purchase another one. It cannot cook without the insert. And if you do, chances are you're probably going to damage your Instapot, and they're way too much money for, you know, for that to happen. You do not want to cook with this on the stove because it will melt. And you do not want to put this on the stove, because if it gets hot enough, it will melt also. So you want to make sure that you have these away from your stove. You don't want to take the chance of putting it on a hot stove and it melt. And this cannot be put in the oven, dishwasher, or anything. This is, you know, only needs to be in here. Okay, so now you have this cord right here, and sometimes you can take it off. If for some reason your Instapot will not set or it will not turn on, every time I've had that issue, it's been because my plug was not properly connected. So you always want to make sure that your plug is nice and tight. You also have this little reserve right here. And a lot of times I can forget it in the beginning. I forget several times to take this off and wash it. It doesn't always have reserve in it, but sometimes it will. And if you forget about it, it will sit there, and then it can cause an odor. It can cause mold, blah, all the yucky stuff that we don't want. So just kind of get into the habit of making sure that you've checked your reserve, that it's nice and clean, and it goes right here. And you'll see all you do is just slide it. That's it. Slide it off, slide it on, and that's it. Okay, now for your functions. And I know that this is going to be backwards, and I really don't know how to fix that. If somebody can leave a comment, if you know how, please do so. But these are your functions. This is your function plate. And mainly if you're just beginning, it's the best thing for you to do to kind of worry about is the saute button and either the manual or the pressure cook. And you'll learn the rest as you go. There's lots of videos out there on the functions, but as a beginner, you're probably just going to worry about the saute button. What the saute button does is just like your frying pan. When you're gonna put, you know how you cook your onions and your bell peppers or your veggies before you put your meat in there, and or you wanna brown your meat, that's what the saute button does. Now, when you're done with your saute button, you push the cancel button. You make sure that you get all the stuff that's stuck on the bottom from the saute. You want to make sure that you get all of that up because you don't want to cause your food to burn. And then all you do is make sure that you've got plenty of water. You want to have at least a cup of water in there for it to properly pressurize. You don't really want to use like milks or something that can get scalding real quick, like milk or gravies. You kind of want to wait till after you cook your food before you start doing your gravies and your milk, because if you put it all in at one time, then you're going to get the burned food option, and it becomes a mess. And so you want to save your gravies and you're adding your milk to the very end. And basically that's it. You know, there's no reason to be afraid of your Instapot. You always want to make sure that it's important that you have your sealing ring, that you have your little knob here, that's on, and that your seal is properly inserted, and that there's nothing really obstructing these from properly working. And then you just plug it in, and when you plug it in and you turn it on, you'll hear that little beep, and that's kind of just what it looks like. It says off, but then when you go to, you know, you can set your time or cancel. You do have to cancel it when you're going from one function to another. You just can't push that function. You do have to cancel it. And that's it. So don't be afraid of your Instapot. And for the last thing I'm going to show you is how to close your Instapot. This little thing right here goes in this part right here. You hear that? There you go. That's it. And when it's pressurized, it won't let you move. This thing will not move. If you force it open, then you're kind of asking for danger. So don't ever force your Instapot open. If it will not open, check your pressurized. You know, wait for a little bit, unplug it, let it depressurize naturally, and then open it. But don't ever force it open, because that could be kind of dangerous. And basically that's it. This is absolutely nothing to be afraid of, because this will be your best friend in the kitchen. Thank you so much for watching us here at Here's With Cooking. Have an awesome day and get cooking in your Instapot. Thanks for watching Here's What's Cooking. I'm so glad that you could